In this video, you will learn the 6 secrets that will make him melt. Hi, I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man Method. And look, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe so you get more juicy videos coming your way. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Secret number 6 is appreciate him for something that other people don't appreciate him for. So what I always think of when I'm out and about, I meet a lot of people all the time, online, offline. I used to call myself the social dolphin, right? Because who wants to call themselves the social butterfly, right? It's like everyone is a social butterfly. But anyways, and I would think, what can I actually speak to that's not obvious, right? So if you think about it this way, if you were on a speed date, you wouldn't say the same thing that you think everybody else said, right? Because how the heck are you going to stand out? How are you going to create a state change? Same is true in online dating when you write a profile. One time I was actually pretending I was a guy and not messaging anyone, but I just wanted to see what women write. And it's so interesting because it all sounds the same. So how do you stand out, right? If you want to make him melt, is by actually appreciating something that somebody doesn't appreciate him for, right? So don't appreciate him and don't compliment him on the obvious, right? Like, oh, I love your shoes, or you're so cute, or whatever, right? But look at more the subtleties, right? Like, wow, I really love that quiet confidence that you have inside of yourself, right? Or I really love how you were just holding your pen when you were, I don't know, signing the bill or whatever it is, like maybe you're at Starbucks and you see how he signs the bill, or whatever the case may be. So something that's really unexpected where he's like, that's different. And remember, one of the 6 human needs is variety, right? So we do need that, because if we get something that's predictable, right? This part in the brain called Broca, we're just we think we can predict everything, and it's not interesting, it's not fascinating. So try to appreciate him for something that other people don't appreciate him for. Number 5 is tell him how he makes you feel. In other words, communicate the impact he has on your life, right? So often we assume, right, to make an ass of you and me, that's what assume actually really means, okay, that we actually, of course he knows that he makes a big difference in my life. And of course he knows that. Does he really? Are you sure about that? Because men are really paying attention to if they make an impact on your life. So let's say you're on a date, and let's say he just made you a compliment, or maybe he paid the bill, right? Let him know why that makes such an impact on. Thank you so much for actually paying the bill. It makes me feel really taken care of and supported, or it makes me feel like you really care, or whatever the case may be, right? But you communicate the impact it has on you, so he can feel the impact inside of himself. Because remember, men live vicariously through us. They use over 10,000 words less than we do, so we can actually describe things more in a nuanced way versus men who have less ability to that, but they can step into that when you actually hand them a resume, when you actually communicate how something made you feel. Secret number 4 is be vulnerable. And of course, you've heard this all the time. But what I mean by that, by being vulnerable, is by thinking about I'm just thinking about dates, right? So for example, being vulnerable could be very simple, where you're just on a date and, let's say he says something and then he says something else, and you can't really connect the dots. You're like, wait a minute, what just happened? Where did we just leave the train tracks here? I feel totally lost. And so instead of pretending that you're still following along, which by the way then means that you basically just lost rapport, instead you actually want to say, hey, hold on one second. Slow down, cowboy. You know what I mean? You could just make fun of it, be light about it, be goofy about it. Be just hey, I just noticed you were just talking about your grandma and how that was showing up in your childhood or whatever the case may be. And out of the sudden, you were talking about green shakes. And can you explain to me again that bridge so I can follow along with the storyline, right? And you know what? This is so interesting because this in and of itself can be so vulnerable, because I hear all the time women asking me, well, when should I be vulnerable? All the time. All the time. Like, don't think about, I'm like, you have to really understand what vulnerability is, right? Because for you, vulnerability could literally be just interrupting him. Vulnerability could be actually acknowledging I'm not following along right now, because if that triggers you feeling stupid, for example, because maybe one of your parents made you feel like you're stupid and you thought you're only worthy if you're a high achiever, then in that moment, that's actually vulnerability for you. So try that out. Secret number 3 is say, I was wrong. Okay. So this is really important to see, because when you say I was wrong, it makes a man feel safe, right? He doesn't think about becoming defensive, but instead it opens his heart, because he feels like, okay, I don't have to prove all the time that I'm right. I don't have to be in fight or flight with this woman all the time, but instead she can actually acknowledge that she was wrong. And then there's safety, right? And there's space, because one thing that I always tell my women, the quality of men that you attract into your life is directly proportional to your willingness to be wrong, right? Because remember, we're processing 2 billions of bits of information per second, billions, okay, 2 billions. And only 134, that's it, on a conscious level. So we will be wrong. We will be wrong a lot. And it actually shows a man that you're strong inside of yourself, right? That you don't have to be righteous all the time, and that you won't emasculate him at any cost. But you actually have a silent confidence inside of yourself. You're willing to be wrong. You're admitting when you're wrong. And it makes a man actually feel safe and also feel like he can still be your hero, right? He can actually come to the rescue. So try that out. Very powerful. Phrase number 2 is everything is going to be okay. And I know what you want to say. Wait a minute, Antia. Like, you just said the guys want to save me and they want to be there for me and they want to support me and I don't want to be the mom. Yes. I'm just saying this when you think about the 6 masculine archetypes that we train our women on, because my husband worked with men for 10 plus years, right? That we have different parts. Every man has different parts inside of himself. And so when we say everything is going to be okay, right, it speaks to his little boy. So I'm talking about this if you have a balanced man in your life, right? Of course, if you're noticing already, he's always in this little boy. He's always collapsing. You have to be the strong one. You have to be the mom. Of course, then forget this phrase, right? But I'm talking about a strong man. Because what it does is it's actually saying like, okay, I don't just see you as like the provider and you have to be strong all the time, but you're also allowed to be quote unquote weak or insecure, not have all the answers as well, right? It's actually going to be like safe for him again. For example, my husband likes to like lay on my chest in the morning and it's so cute. It's like the little boy, right? He's very strong. He's a very strong warrior, very strong king, right? He's very, very much the provider, can ultimately step into his wild man really fast. But he also has a soft and emotionally gentle side to him, right? So when you say everything's going to be okay, you speak to that part, especially if you meet men who are like actually emotionally maybe a little bit tougher and you don't see so much the gentleness. This would be a good phrase to try out. And lastly, phrase number 1 is you make me feel safe. And of course, this speaks directly to him being the provider, being the protector, right? He feels like masculine. And yeah, this is really important for a man, for you to feel safe and for you to feel happy. So again, this goes a little bit back to phrase number 5, letting him know the impact he has on your life, right? Like really making sure you let him know how you feel. You make me feel safe. And he's, of course, going to feel like, me Tarzan, you Jane, right? Like it's going to be a little bit like that because it does speak to his wild man. Ladies, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. So here is what's next. First off, I recommend watching my free playlist course on how to make a man chase you right below this video. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hop on over to magnetizeyourman.com or grab that link right below to take my personalized Magnetize Your Man free quiz so you get more dating strategies for yourself. This is it for today, ladies. Much love. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Mwah!